It is day 75 of my journey to living in an eco-village. I am staying in Santa Fe right now. I was able to book 2 house sitting gigs through Trusted House Sitters. So I'm doing the second one right now, wrapping that up. I'll be leaving tomorrow. And before I get into my plans for what's next, let me talk about what's been going on for the past couple weeks because it's been a while since I've done a vlog. I've been spending the last couple weeks posting clips from my time, or at least a very small amount of my time at Dancing Rabbit Ecovillage. When I left there, I went to Springfield, stayed there for 2 days, did the same thing in Norman, Oklahoma. While I was in Norman, I actually made a couple good connections, so that was refreshing. I wasn't expecting that for such a short trip. So then I came out to Santa Fe and I had booked 2 house sitting gigs, thinking that Santa Fe was in the southwest and it was going to be dry, warm desert, and I was going to be able to chill out here for a bit. I was mistaken. Santa Fe is a little bit more of a mountainous region, still in the desert though. And the first night that I got here, I saw the clouds coming, I saw the thunder, so I knew to set up my tent with a tarp over it to prepare for the rain. And it did rain the first night and the second night too. I remember coming home from DoorDash and it was just pouring. So the highways in Santa Fe go up to 75 miles an hour. And I think something about being in the mountains and just the incline of the hill made it really hard for my car to get up to 75 miles an hour, which is generally no problem. So I had that going on and just a downpour of rain, going back to my tent at like 9 o'clock at night and just cold, exhausted. It was just over an 8-hour drive from Norman, Oklahoma to Santa Fe. And yeah, just not a great first impression of Santa Fe, but I've been here about 10 days now. And it's a beautiful place and the weather has been really nice since then. I think there was a thunderstorm or supposedly thunderstorms between my gigs, and kind of just in a moment of desperation, I reached out to a friend of mine who works with Wyndham and was able to get me a discount on a hotel. I was so glad to not have to camp in a thunderstorm when it was getting colder out. It happened to fall on a Monday and Tuesday, and I'm really trying to get better at giving myself time to just unwind. I think I stress myself out with this idea that I have to keep planning and have to know where am I going to be camping? Am I going to be visiting an eco-village or doing a wolf farm? And so being able to just not do that was just so nice. And then to have just the simple pleasures of being in a hotel. It was a day's in, it wasn't anything fancy, but it was nice to just have that space. So that kind of catches up on the logistics of my past 2 weeks. My stay at Dancing Rabbit opened my eyes to how much really goes into, and I guess I knew that running an eco-village is complex, and I'm a complex thinker. I'm a big picture thinker. I had an idea of everything that goes into it, but actually going to an eco-village and going to all the workshops and just the different topics. From land management to natural building to how do you choose to make decisions as a community? Do you do consensus-based? Do you do democracy? Do you do income sharing? Do you not? Do you share vehicles or do you not? There's just so many details. I kind of know at a big picture what I'm looking for and have an idea of how complex things kind of weave into each other. But when it comes to the decision of do you want a personal vehicle or not, that just was not even on my radar. And so what's feeling more realistic for me is to find an eco-village that's compatible to my vision and graft my vision into that eco-village without, I guess that would be the compatibility part, is that my vision would be in collaboration, and it would be consensual. There would be an agreement. It wouldn't be me stepping over anybody's toes, like saying, this is what I want to do, and like and I'm going to do this. It would be a coming together of like, here's what I want to bring into the world. Like, is this something that you feel you can help me accomplish? And then how do I also, in turn, serve the community? Which I feel like my vision is already very community oriented. That's not really an issue. So I also feel called and compelled to just review. Well, I guess let's go ahead back a couple months and just kind of review everything that's gone on, because I feel like there have been a lot of decisions that I made with the information that I had that have been updated. And now looking back, it's like, oh, things are different. We'll start with the vision for the trip. I was going to spend like September to October jumping from Ecovillage to Ecovillage until I ended up in Portland. And I would have food and shelter, do work exchange, do DoorDash for income, and it would just be easy breezy all the way to Portland. I've learned that that is just not realistic for an Ecovillage. Like, it takes planning and time and resources to be able to host someone. That's why there's visitor programs at scheduled times, because popping in to an Ecovillage when you might be in the middle of a busy period, it's not something that can be easily accommodated, even just for one person to show up and be like, and want to do a work exchange. Like, as straightforward as it is, there's just so much involved in the day-to-day of an Ecovillage. To try to like accommodate that would just be chaotic. Plan B, I need to find other methods of work exchange. I guess that's where I came across Woof and was on the fence about doing trusted house sitters, because I really wanted to like invest my time more towards stepping into what it would be like to live in an Ecovillage. And that's when I realized that camping was going to be probably the main way that I was going to have somewhere to sleep. Let me pause there and come back to that in a moment, because one thing when I was first planning this journey, specifically when I was planning on going to Heart, one of the questions that was like the pre-interview stage was, where do you see yourself in 6 months? And at that time it was somewhere mid-August, and 6 months from that time was going to be around Valentine's Day. And I remember saying that 6 months from now, I was hoping to be able to spend Valentine's Day with a partner. It had been so long since I had really thought about that. And I remember that being a very real feeling while I was at Dancing Rabbit, and more so even now. And it's occurred to me that it is the fall season, it's cuffing season. And if you're not familiar with that sociological phenomenon, the idea is that you have fall to find your partner so that you have somebody for Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day. And then there's some sequence of events that happens after, something about spring and summer love, and I can't remember that. All that to say is just the desire for a partner has become even more real. And that was one thing. We'll come back to staying at a hotel, taking time off and time to really like come back into myself and give myself the love that I think I don't know if I was intentionally like holding back, or I think I just got distracted. And it's not that I hadn't taken a day off in the past 2 months, but it may have been like one day off, maybe two. Really, this past week, I've just let myself be more vulnerable, and it reveals a really tender part of myself that is important for me to share in a relationship. And I feel that that part of me is so niche. And I've talked a little bit about it here before, so I guess I'll mention it again. I'm referring to my ABDL side. I guess just to get a little bit more into that, to be clear on what that is for me, because it can mean so many different things. Part of the way I connect to myself on a deeper level is to kind of split myself into a father role and a child role. The father role is fully responsible and fully compassionate for this child role, and the child role is free to wonder and play and just not think and not have to have all the responsibilities that comes with adulthood. And so part of that, like for me, it looks like while I was at the hotel, like, watching Paw Patrol and getting myself the applesauce squeeze packets. Yeah, such a niche way to just truly relax and let go of responsibility while also still having a part of me that is responsible, and wanting a partner who is able to hold space for that part of myself. I mean, there's an entire community of the ABDL community, but even within that community, it's like finding a needle in a haystack to find the person who like is it's not even about understanding, it's just like has the energy to match your energy, because there's a full spectrum of expression within that niche community. So camping was the other pin. And just the process of having conversations with ChatGPT to plan where were going to be the hot spots for me to go find the community that I wanted to find. And this really ties in looking for relationships and also looking for places to establish an eco-village. And so I think the major cities that have come up several times have been Portland, Seattle, Austin, Texas, Asheville, I think was one. I feel like there was somewhere in California, multiple places in California, I'm sure. Trying to figure out cities that meet those needs, cities that are close enough to a campground where I can set up a tent and sleep for the night and then travel in a reasonable amount of time, go to DoorDash in the urban area, has been challenging. And truly, I feel like I've always been able to figure it out, even in Santa Fe, even though like Santa Fe wasn't what I was expecting. I think because my next move is to go to Austin, because Austin seems to be a hub that meets the 5 pillars of my eco-village, which would be sustainability, balancing that with AI and new technology, having a place that is open to personal development and where I could blend that with role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons and other computer games, and just my whole world building stuff. And then the 5th pillar being kink friendly. So I'm really excited to check out Austin. The problem is that there's no free campgrounds or no like Bureau of Land Management or land management areas, wildlife management areas, any of that, or I could just set up a tent for free. So I'm going to end up in the Lyndon B. Johnson grasslands up more towards Dallas and Fort Worth. And my sister lives in Fort Worth. So I'll be much closer to her, which is nice because it kind of just gives me another option. No, I mean, that was kind of the whole thought. Is just like there have been so many like unexpected things that, I mean, ultimately I figure out. And it's like part of me really wants to complain about this, but it's like there's really nothing to complain about. I figure it out. I don't know. It's challenging, but you know, what's life without a good challenge? So yeah, I know my route. The owner of the home comes back probably in the afternoon, and I think I'm probably gonna have to there's a cat and her dog here who take insulin, so I'm gonna need to do that around 9:30 and then leave right after that. So I'm gonna stop near, I don't know if it's pronounced Amarillo or Amarillo. They're camping for a night, and then I really want to get to my main camp in the grasslands as soon as possible, if I have the energy for it, and I think I will. I'm gonna go the next day to the grasslands. And then I'm in the process of setting up some trusted house sitters in Austin, so I'll be able to check out that area as well. This is the part of my journey where I am slowing down. I think I'm gonna have plenty of opportunity. The plan is to get to Heart to Heart by February, so I have plenty of time. I guess I'll speak it into the universe, but I feel like that doesn't always work. So the plan is going to be to spend November up until Thanksgiving in Texas. I'll stay with or visit my sister for Thanksgiving, maybe stay with her a bit. From Texas, head over to California. There's definitely going to be some stops along the way, but so December's going to be more like Los Angeles, California month. January, I'll start traveling. Well, I may start traveling north. I may also just like as quickly as possible just go from South California to Portland by the beginning of February. Because I don't know how the West Coast is going to be at that time of year. ChatGPT seems to think that it will be good for camping if you live on the West Coast and are familiar with the seasons between December and February. I guess that would just be winter. Maybe let me know if it's conducive for camping or what my options are. Maybe, I don't know, if you do trusted house sitters, like, just save a space for me. Maybe even if you're not going out of town, just like have a guest room ready for me. But yeah, that's kind of just been the energy of traveling. I really just have no idea where my next stop is. I thought it was going to be Austin, and now it's Fort Worth. If you find value in this content and you would like to see more of it, it really helps to have donations just as a cushion. You just don't know what might happen and when you really need like a savings or a cushion or to pay off credit card debt. So your donations mean a lot. If you just want to send it to PayPal or Cash App or Venmo, the handle is the same, NAYTHOPHYL.